Hello, everyone. Given the recent news out of Minneapolis of another American citizen being killed by a federal agent, I'd like to briefly discuss why so many commentators and experts are calling this an inflection point, why it presents us with a binary decision, and why I'm covering the topic again this Friday. Much of politics is about creating something collectively, discussing, compromising, debating. That's the hope of this channel, is for us to come together and collectively create a vision of what we want America and Americanness to mean, to look like. However, these recent events hit at the very core of the US Constitution, our founding ideals, and the very premise of that question that we keep coming back to. How do we want to govern ourselves? These events speak to the rights and liberties that make self-governance possible. The First Amendment gives us the right, gives us the liberty to participate in the conversation about how we want to govern ourselves. If we don't have a voice, then it's only those in power who will get to decide what we're deciding on. But at an even deeper level, if we don't have the right to speak, if we don't have the right to petition our government, to say no, then we can't actually consent. And that is at the very core of consensual self-governance, of a democracy, a republic, a democratic republic, whatever you'd like to call it. That is key. Similarly, the right to due process ensures that we are governed by laws that we consent to. If due process, rights, liberties are removed from one group within the general population, all that's required to remove those rights from anyone in the population is to declare them part of that other group. And without due process, it means that anyone in power can simply deem an individual as part of that other, as part of that group that doesn't enjoy the right to a trial by jury of their peers, to that civilian oversight that makes sure that the laws are not just a fig leaf or justification for the whim or will of the leader and or those in power. So these two foundational liberties and rights are necessary for the very idea of self-governance, to make sure we get to decide on how we want to be governed, and that decision is actually what is being enforced. These events directly infringe upon, undermine, erode these foundational liberties and rights. Our founders labeled governance through fear, violence, and threat tyranny. Today, we tend to call it authoritarianism. And that's why this is a binary question. This is an inflection point, because the principles and values, the liberties and rights being attacked are key to the variability and possibility of governing ourselves. And not deciding is a decision. I've often told my students, democracy is advanced citizenship. If we decide not to take up that duty of informing ourselves, of engaging, then we capitulate that right to govern ourselves. Now, I'm not saying everyone has to go out and protest or call your representatives or senators, although all of those things are very good. But it's important first and foremost to decide for yourself, even if it's only in your own mind. And why that decision is important is because it starts to create the political will to realize those things. Authoritarianism thrives in silence, uncertainty, and the resulting compliance. So even just acknowledging to yourself that you're not okay with this is an important first step. So what will we decide? Our founding ideals, self-governance, liberty, or tyranny? The decision is still ours. And for now, I'll leave you to ponder that. If you're interested in learning more about this specific topic, I'll attach the links to my previous video and essay. And you can stay tuned for the new video and essay coming out this Friday. As always, feel free to ask questions, leave comments, and by all means, if you're interested in these topics and what I have to say, feel free to subscribe. And for now, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day.